Good morning everyone, this is Mohammed, and in this video I am going to solve the task 2 of week 109. You must be wondering why I'm doing task 2 of 109 as currently we are into week 110. The reason I'm doing this, actually I was supposed to do this last week, but the reason I'm doing this week is because I really wanted to share my thoughts about this task, because I struggled really badly when solving this task. So I wanted to share my thoughts, my ideas, how I solve this task. So let's jump on. So what this task is, you are given 4 squares excuse me, with numbers in each box. Some numbers share between boxes. So for example, box 1 and 2 share a number B, and box 2 and 3 share number D, and box 3 and 4 shares number F. So we need to find the number A, B, C, D, E, F and G in such a way that the sum of each box is same. So if we are given the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so I need to figure out what are the possible ways you can arrange these numbers, 7 numbers, in these boxes so that the sum of each box is still the same. Okay, so let's try to solve it quickly. Usual setup. So I'm going to go as ch-2 as it's a second task, and the usual user bin Perl, use strict, use warnings, and I am going to use testing mode. So let's add use test mode, not testing. Normally I start writing my subroutine first and then I write my unit test. But for this task I'll write some documentation, try to explain what I am going to do. So I'm just putting some pod section so I can explain what is going on. So as per the task, we have a box A, B and C, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So and box 1 has got A and B, box 2 has got B, C, D and so on and so forth. So let's put that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put a documentation. So box 1 is A plus B, box 2 is B, C, D, box 3 is D, E, F, and finally box 4 is F and G. Because the task is expect us to have box with same total, so that means if we add up all the numbers from each boxes, it should be a multiple of 4, otherwise they are not same. To be able to have the same sum in each box, it has to be a multiple of 4. So that means the box, if I think of box, sum of box has to be like the first box A plus B, that's box number 1. Second is B plus C plus D. Third box D plus E plus F. And finally the fourth box F plus G. This is the total sum. So this has to be a multiple of 4. Yeah. And if we simplify this one, what do we get? We get, if you see, surprisingly, is A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F plus G, and we have a 3 extra common one, which is B, D, F. So that means we can say this A plus B plus C plus D is sum of all the numbers, given numbers. This is num sum, what's the number sum, and plus B plus D plus F. Right? So, and we know that this has to be a multiple of 4. So that means if we divide this total by 4, that's the sum of individual box. So each box sum has to be total number sum plus B plus D plus F divided by 4. That should be the sum of each box. So, make sense? So each box sum is equal to total number of digits plus B plus D plus F divided by 4. That should be the sum of each box. Now the main task is to figure out these numbers. So once we know B, D, F, we can easily find out the sum, and then we can easily get the numbers. So let's figure out. So let's suppose, so in that case, how would I figure out A, B, and C? So if we have to figure out, we have to take the permutation and combinations kind of task. Figure out what combination of B, D, F would give me the remaining 4 alphabets. So in that case, A would become, looking at this formula, yeah, this become box sum of each box minus B, yeah, simplify this one. So that means each box sum minus B would give me A. Similarly, in order to get C, so C is gonna be C is gonna be A minus D. Why? Because A is, let me figure out. So it's B. So C is gonna be each box sum minus that means this can be written as each box sum minus b minus d. So each box sum minus b is actually a. You see? So this is actually a. So I can write a minus d. Yeah. So C become a minus d. Correct? So let's simplify this. So then instead of writing all this, I can say C is a minus d. Simple. Now what else left? So I need to figure out G. So what is G? So G is gonna be each box sum minus F, and then finally E. E is gonna be each box sum, I'm using this expression, find out E. So each box sum minus D plus F. And then you're going to simplify this, then each box sum minus D minus F. So now you can say each box minus F I can replace by G. So that becomes G minus D. So then E become G minus D. So now we have the formula. If we know B, D, F, we can easily figure out A, C, G and E, the remaining four. Now the only task left is to find out the combination of B, D, F to figure out the remaining four using this formula. Yep. Let's solve. So let's try to create a function to solve the puzzle. So let's call it solve puzzle. And I'm going to pass this method a list of numbers. So I'll call it at n. Yep. Just going by this definition, yeah, we need to find out the num sum. We need to find out the total sum of the given number. So let's create a placeholder. I'll call it num sum 0, and then I'll just loop through each number in the given list and just sum it. So loop through every number in the list and add up, and that should give me num sum. Yep. Now, because we expect more than one solution, more than one combinations of the number that give me this result of total sum of each box is same. So let's call it create a placeholder solutions list, reference to a list, and then we're going to figure out the different combinations of BDF. So start with BDF, B first. For each minus B is going to be one of the number from the given list. Yeah, and the D has to be anything but not B from the remaining. So let's call it maybe D. One of this is going to be D, so I'll call it maybe D. And how do I figure out? I need to just grep. It doesn't have to be anything other than the B. So I say loop through every number in the list where it doesn't match with the B, and that's going to be my one of the possible D. So that's my one of the D. Yeah, once I have the possible values for D, I loop through each of these possible numbers to create a different combinations. So I'm now going to say for each my $D from this possible D, maybe D, this list. Similarly, F has to be one of the number from the remaining list. It doesn't match with D. So I'll call it maybe F. Similar kind of thing. So it doesn't have to match with D from the remaining number. And this time I'm going to use maybe D, the remaining list. Yeah. And then finally loop through each of the number possible F from the maybe F list. Maybe F. So we have done all the hard work now. So we have the different, we have the 3 for loop, which will give me different combinations of B, D and F. It's just a matter of applying this formula and then figuring out my possible A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Okay, so let's do it. So first thing first, I need to find out my box sum. So let's call it box sum is going to be, remember box sum is num sum plus B, D and F. True? So it's my B, D, F plus num sum. That's my box sum. Yeah. And also we know that the box sum has to be a multiple of 4. So if it is not, then we are not interested in this combination of B, D and F. So I'm going to say next, unless box sum is divided by 4 doesn't give me a remainder. I'm not interested otherwise. So once you pass the test, now we need to find out what is the value of sum of each box, because in order to find out we need to know sum of each box. So let's figure out each box sum is going to be box sum divided by 4. Since it is a multiple of 4, you should get a nice number without any decimal part. So now we have box sum, we have each box sum, and that should be enough to figure out the number. And the remaining A, C, G and E should be from this maybe F list, right? But it should ignore F, and that should be a number. So let's create an hash which says remaining, and that's gonna be so let's say create a one that says $_1, and that's gonna be maybe F. Yep. And from that hash I'm going to remove the current F, because I don't want that F to be part of my list. So let's delete that, delete $M $F. So we're removing that from that hash. Yeah, and now find out. Let's find out A. So A is gonna be simple formula, each box sum minus D. That's my A. But then this A should be part of my remaining hash. If it is not, then I'm not interested in this combination either. So I'll say next, unless exists $rem $A. Should exist there. Yeah, and if it does exist, that means we found the number. So I have to remove that from the remaining hash. Delete $rem $A. Similarly, figure out $C. $C is $A minus $D. Remember? So $C is $A minus $D. We're going to check again. Next, unless this $C exists in my remaining hash. $rem $C. If it does exist, that means we found our C, and delete that C from the remaining hash. Now time to find our G. So if we go back to the formula, G is each box sum minus F. So $G is each box sum minus $F. Again, apply the same. Next, unless exist rem $G. If we did find, then it's fine. Then remove it from the remaining hash $G. And the last one is easy peasy. What's the formula? So E is G minus D. So $E is $G minus $D. And I'm going to say next, unless exists that number in the remaining hash $E. I'm not deleting because there is nothing else to check, so no point doing the delete thing. Let's close the braces. So that's my innermost for loop, the second for loop, and the final for loop. And once you've done all those, then just return the solutions. Where did I didn't put this. So yeah, once you've done this, I need to push the solutions. And it's going to be $A, $B, $C, $D, $E, $F, and $G. That's my solution. Then finally return the solutions. So that's my solved puzzle. Now, because it is data structure, so I'm going to again use my handy method, distribution module, test D. I'm going to be is D play. Call the method solve puzzle, and I'm passing a list of numbers. So number is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have saved the possible outcome. In this case, this is my expected result possibility. So I'm just paste it here. So that's my expected result, and that's a reference to a list, so let's put everything in that list. Close the bracket. That's it. Hopefully this should pass the test. Let's run it. That's done. So yeah, that's my task 2 of week 109. Magic part is this. So once you figure out this, it's become easy peasy. Then these are just the standard thing. Pick one number, then find out the remaining. Pick the second number from the remaining list. Pick the third number from the remaining list, and then you check. Basic check. And then once you have the formula, you can calculate the remaining 4 digit, and then just push through the solution. Hopefully makes sense to you. I really enjoyed it because I had a hard time solving this task. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like my solution, please do like my video and share my video with your friends. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you. Bye.